Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Mercury Sextile or Trine one's natal Black Moon Lilith. Now, when you have this transit, it can be about communications, learning, assimilating information, siblings, cousins, neighbors, short journeys, local transportation, maybe in harmony with the negative manifestation of the sun. Now, doesn't sound quite right. I'm going to elaborate on that a little here. Well, the thing about it is, it could be a time where you might be, it's an auspicious time, I would say, to learn about the negative qualities of this placement, of this energy. And you may be more apt to do something about it, having more of an understanding, of what it's about. Let's say, for example, if the natal Black Moon Lilith is in Aquarius, it could be, very non-conforming, rebellious, erratic behavior, unpredictable behavior, just trying to shock others. Say if the natal Black Moon Lilith is in the second house, and let's say if the natal Black Moon Lilith is in Aquarius in the second house, as an example, may manifest in, say, causing dissension in some astrology community, or just going online and causing problems and doing so for your own, making yourself, increase your own self-worth as a result, perhaps. Or if you have the natal Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, it could be, provoking, others just to get a negative reaction out of them, just to get them in some kind of trouble. It can be a time too, where the Black Moon Lilith is connected with the dark side of the placement sign, and it could be nefarious energy. And the thing to keep in mind is not always about the person in question that has the placement of the chart. It could be something in one's life, some sector in one's life where one is feeling a lot of turmoil, a lot of distress. And if you have the natal Black Moon Lilith in the fourth house, say, there may be some issues with safety and security, or even in your home and family life. I have my natal Black Moon Lilith in Leo in the fourth house, and that can manifest in some issues with just maybe an overbearing, domineering family member that I've had to deal with during my life. I've been with some Leo people in my home and family life, and it wasn't an overly compatible situation with any of them. And the thing is, this is more of a time, like, say, for me, if I have that transit based on that example, for me to grasp more of an understanding of that, and what can I actually do to make, to try at least modify this energy. The natal Black Moon Lilith in the fourth house could also be where one may feel, exiled or ostracized from their home and from their family, where not always just feel, they may actually be that way. This is a situation too, when you have this transit, this is where siblings, cousins, and neighbors, may be able to actually help you deal with somebody that might be that thorn in your side. The Black Moon Lilith can be associated with a formidable adversary. And the thing about it is that when you have this transit, keep in mind the transit doesn't last for a prolonged or protracted period, so it's important to capitalize on the energy when it's actually there. And the thing about this is, if you have your natal Black Moon Lilith, say, you could say, if it's Scorpio, again, as an example, in Scorpio and or the 8th house in your natal chart, it could be somebody that may be like a stalker, as an example, or, even if it's in the 12th house, because that could be somebody that's very hidden and likes to be, make themselves very unclear. And that could be I would say that could be a placement for a possible, a stalker that could want to be a very powerful enemy in some instances. Now, another instance, or the Black Moon Lilith is also connected. It's with trauma. It could be of a physical nature, emotional nature, psychological nature. This is where your siblings, cousins, neighbors, people that may be prominent in your short journeys or your early education even, these people may be more of an assistance to be able, to help you, deal with, say for example, if it's some physical related trauma. If you have the natal Black Moon Lilith in Gemini, it could be, something, with the arms or the hands, shoulders. There may be some issues with breathing or the lungs in some cases, or the nerves even. And this is a time where you can actually get a better understanding and be able to articulate these issues better too. Because remember that, Mercury is about communication, and it's something where if you haven't been to like a physician or a doctor to address these issues, this could be an opportune time to be able to verbalize the issues that can be connected, with this. So anyway. Now another thing, again, the Black Moon Lilith is also, it's connected with abuse. If you're in, if some people, if they're having this transit, if they're in an abusive situation, say they have this in their seventh house and or Libra, it could be a situation, with a significant other or a marriage partner. Maybe there's some kind of, violence the person's dealing with. And this is a time where you may be able to address these issues more and talk these issues out with the appropriate people, as an example. Now, the Black Moon Lilith is also connected with that. It could be that void in one's life. It could, sometimes there may actually be a void, or it might be where, the person, just feels there's some emptiness, there's something hollow in connection, with the placement. If you have the natal Black Moon Lilith, like in my case again, like in the fourth house, or say you have it, if you have it in the zodiac sign Cancer and or the fourth house, it could be some, your situation with your home, your family life, your emotional security. And this is a time where you might be able to formulate more of that could be a mental plan to get yourself to improve that situation at this time, and or at least to deal with it. And the Black Moon Lilith is also associated with obsession and fixation. So it could be a time where you may be able, if there's any issues, with something that you become obsessed with, or fixated on. If you have your natal Black Moon Lilith in the fifth house as an example, it could be, somebody you're in a romantic connection with. It could be something with gambling or speculation. This is something where you may be able to deal with this a little bit better, and be able to understand what's going on and think more rationally about what you're actually doing, and do something about it more. Now another thing too is that it's also a time where you may be able to learn more and be able to grasp the higher, try to embrace the higher level of the placement. Remember, the Black Moon Lilith is not all adverse or negative. It does have some positive in it, but you got to be willing to, no, I don't want to say explore, but be able to, understand what you can do in terms of grasping the higher place of what is the higher placement of it, and then being able to apply. It's about application of that knowledge, and being able to do things in association with it. Now, if you have your natal Black Moon Lilith, in Capricorn, say, it could be simply embracing the higher level of it. Could simply be just being ambitious, striving for success, not to the point of romping all over others or bad mouthing somebody, or doing something to harm someone's reputation in the process, to try to build yourself up and put yourself in a higher position. But what it is, it's about it could be just being industrious, being disciplined, and being able to, being consistent in your efforts to do what you have to do to attain your success in your life, as an example. Another thing too is that this could also be a time where siblings, cousins, and neighbors, these people may be able to, can be there for you more to help you cope. It could be with a death. It could be a literal death, or it could be where simply you obliterated or ended something in your life. If you have the natal Black Moon Lilith in the seventh house and or Libra, again using that as an example, it could be the figure, it could be the ending of a relationship or significant connection with a significant other. It could simply be where you separated yourself from this person and it's a figurative ending. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Now the Black Moon Lilith is also connected with people that play a provocative or prominent role in your life. So it can be a time where the communications can be more auspicious with these people. If you're taking a short journey, it can be a positive time for short journeys with these people as well. It may be a time where there's less, some potential for arguments or less delays when you're traveling, as some examples. Now, another thing too, another way this transit may manifest, it could be where you have positive communication, which is Mercury, about maybe a powerful enemy, a formidable adversary, which is the Black Moon Lilith. If the Black Moon Lilith is in Scorpio in the 4th house as an example, it could be somebody that's about provocation, that thrives on provocation to get a negative response, which is Scorpio, that impacts your joviality. If it's in the 9th house, I'm sorry. Let me be kind and rewind. Let's say, let me go back. If the Black Moon, say for example, if the natal Black Moon Lilith was in Scorpio in the 9th house, it may manifest in perhaps provocation to get a negative response. Somebody, this enemy that's about focuses on provocation to get a negative response, which is Scorpio, that could impact your jovial state. And the 9th house is connected with jocularity, joviality. Could also be an auspicious time to learn, which is Mercury, about the void in your life. Now, if the natal Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus in the 5th house as an example, it could be having a stable or peaceful, which is Taurus, love life, which is the 5th house. Now, also too, siblings, cousins, and neighbors, which is Mercury, may favor that you embracing the higher level of the placement, which is the Black Moon Lilith. Now, for example, if the natal Black Moon Lilith is in Aquarius in the 2nd house, it could be making good contributions to astronomy or astrology or to computers, as some examples, and also that may help your self-worth, which is the 2nd house. Now, it's also a time where you may have more of an, better, more capable of articulating, which is Mercury, the negative manifestation of the placement, as I stated before, as Aquarius as an example. It could be rebellious or non-conforming or very erratic qualities. Somebody that may want to cause dissension, say, for example, in the astrology community, just for the heck, just for doing so. So I mean, it's just those are some ways that this transit can manifest. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.